Hello, students. This video is gonna cover the sexual values interviews throughout the semester and the reflection paper that's due. And so to start off, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about this assignment in general, and then we're gonna cover exactly what is due each week. And so this is an ongoing project for the entire semester. What you're going to do is you're going to start off by choosing a partner, either a peer from class or someone that you know, a friend, a spouse, a family member, whoever you'd like, that you're going to be conducting these interviews with throughout the semester. And this person must be over the age of 18. That is definitely a requirement of the assignment. It's going to be someone that you want. The person that you pick is going to be someone that you believe to be a rich source of information, someone who you believe to be willing to talk about these topics related to sexuality in a very open manner. And so what might be a good idea is to look over the interview questions and get a sense of what you're going to be asking before you decide on who you're going to be interviewing throughout the semester. And so each of the weeks that you have a values interview due, you're going to be conducting an interview session with that same partner covering a weekly topic related to sexual values. And so if you take a look at the link within the assignment, it includes all of the questions. And so it breaks it down from 1 to 8. So the sections of questions you're going to be asking. You don't need to ask all of the questions within that guide. You may just want to kind of start off with some general questions. It depends on how in-depth the conversation goes. And so it's important for you to engage in an interactive interview. So rather than just read a question, listen to the answer, read the next question, listen to the answer, the idea is that you're going to be using your listening skills, your kind of basic counseling skills that you learned your very first semester. You're going to work on building rapport, creating a safe environment, taking a sincere interest in what the participant is sharing and how they elaborate on the responses. And so the phrase, tell me about a time when, or tell me more about that, or, you know, those sort of things are going to come in really handy. You want to also make sure that you're using reflection as appropriate. Make sure that you respect the respondent's desire not to answer a question if that comes up. And so if they are like, you know what, not comfortable with that, or I want to skip that, you know, validate them and kind of move on. You want to make sure that you use your best judgment to select which questions might be appropriate and which that you choose to omit or rephrase as well. So these interview sessions, each of the weeks that one is due, should last about 30 minutes. So you want to kind of aim for that general time frame because you want to make sure that you get in depth to get a better understanding rather than just a very surface level Q&A sort of session. You can record the interviews if you choose to. You want to make sure that if you do record them, that you're doing so in a very confidential manner. So making sure they're behind passwords or encryptions or something like that. And you want to make sure that when you're done using the recording for your assignment, that you dispose of it properly as well, because we want to ensure safety and confidentiality as much as we can for the person that you're interviewing. And so with all of that in mind, this is not something that you would do over email. It's something that you're going to do face-to-face in real time. So whether it's sitting down with a person, doing it over some kind of FaceTime or Zoom or Skype or something like that, you want to have it real time, you know, kind of having these conversations and talking these things out. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So each week that you do the interview, you're going to be submitting a 1 to 2 page summary paper describing what you learned about your participant. You want to make sure that you're using some kind of pseudonym to describe them, or just calling them maybe your participant, because you don't want to give away their identifying information. So you don't want to share their name, so that again, they can have that layer of privacy and confidentiality. The final report is your final paper that's due, I believe, the 11th week of this semester. It might be the 10th, but you're going to submit a reflection paper. It's about 6 to 8 pages where you want to talk about your experience all semester with all of the interviews, and there's more information posted on Canvas regarding that. And so again, with each of these with each of these questions each week, there's going to be a set of questions, maybe like 5 to 10 questions that give you an idea of what you're going to be focused on for that week. And so I want to give you a little bit of an idea of how this looks on Canvas. And so let me share my screen. All right, so if you go into the module section, if you go into, say, for example, module 2, you have this sexual values interview number 1. When you click on that assignment, it is going to give you all of the information I just went over. These hyperlinks have the interview guide, so it has all of the questions for each of the weeks. And so you want to make sure that you're just asking that chunk. And also I've added some interview pro tips, which are also on that guide. And so this is what you're going to do for each of those sessions, worth 25 points for those 8 sessions. Then when you get to the towards the end of the semester, and you have to submit the reflection paper. So this is actually due in week 11 of the semester. Again, it gives you information on what you're going to be doing in that 6 to 8 page paper. It gives you some reflection questions for kind of 2 different sections, 2 different parts of this paper that you're going to want to think about as you're writing this paper. So this is worth a little bit more points because it is going to be formatted in APA. You want to make this a real like academic paper. You can use sources and citations if you'd like from sources from within the course or outside of the course. If you do choose to use citations, you want to properly cite them and then add a reference page at the end. That would not count in the 6 to 8 page paper, but you want to make sure that you have that appropriately formatted. Again, if you also add a cover page or anything like that, that does not count in the 6 to 8 full pages of content. And so if you have any questions about this assignment, please let me know. Again, it is ongoing. We're going to be doing it over the course of the semester. So ultimately it ends up holding a lot of points, right? Because you're getting points each time that you do one of those interviews and submit the short papers, but then also you have this larger one due towards the end of the semester. And so hopefully this covered most of it. Again, if you have any questions, just please let me know. Thank you.